Hoi hoi folks, good morning, good afternoon and good evening wherever you are in the world. My name's Sean, aka Uncle Frogface, and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, then welcome. If you're not new, then welcome back. So, funny enough, this is not the video I was intending to do today. As you'll know, if you follow the channel, I said when we get to 666 subscribers, that's hard to say, I will be doing a demonic piece of artwork and doing a little giveaway. Well, the time came and we flew past it. We're now on 678 in a very short period, and probably more by the time this video actually goes live, because obviously I've got to edit and stuff. And the piece that I was intending to do, I realised actually I didn't have enough acrylic paint for, so I've had to put in an order for acrylic paint, which is arriving on Saturday, which is maybe when this video is coming out, so I can't start. Just a lot going on. So instead, I wanted to share with you something that I've been eager to try for a while. So I've had this for a few weeks, and I've kind of been itching to show you guys. So I didn't want to do it without you. It's a little bit of a product review. You would have seen it in the thumbnail, but I really want to dive into this and see if they're worth the money and if they actually work. And it is this tiny little box here, PenTips, and this is of course for the Apple Pencil. So I'm going to turn the camera around, we're going to open the box, we're going to see what's inside, and then we're going to give it a little bit of a try out and see what all the fuss is about. Okay, so here we are. This is the box that I ordered. So this is 5 PenTips, and I got to choose what colours I wanted. It came with this little card as well. There's some like, hey there, thank you, check out all of these accessories, which I'd love to look at in the future, particularly the pen pad, hint hint, PenTips. And we can't wait, and what to share with and all that kind of stuff. So nice little leaflet that came with it. But here is what we're really excited about. As you can see, I've got my Apple Pencil in its stand over here. Got my iPad ready with Procreate. In here, these are the PenTips. Well, this one's really hard to see, but we've got a black one here, a blue one, a yellow one, a purple one, and a green one. I had to go green and purple. Obviously, Disney villain colours. Blue and yellow support Ukraine. And the black one here, just because classic black. So, take one out and I'll show you what it looks like. It's like this. It's like, well, it's made of silicone. It's like a tiny silicone condom for the pencil. That was someone on Instagram. But here we go. Look, speaking of which, if you're not following me on Instagram, links are down below. But there we go. This just fits onto the tip of the pencil, and what this is supposed to do is to give much more friction when you're drawing. So I'm going to take this off for a second and pop this in. We're going to do a bit of a side-by-side comparison. So let's pop those just there. So something I kind of am not a huge fan of with the iPad or any graphics tablet, honestly, is the sound and the feeling of the pencil on the screen, or the pen on the screen, whatever the tool is. Yes, there are things you can do. You can have screen protectors and mattifying protectors and all that kind of stuff. Honestly though, every time I've used one of those screen protectors in the past, it hasn't helped with sound. It has helped with kind of friction across the screen. But it also distorts the colour. And I use my iPad for more than just art. I use my iPad for watching YouTube and Netflix and writing and all sorts. So actually it's really important that the screen is kept as it is. But just let me kind of demonstrate what I mean by the sound. I mean, that's the kind of thing I would naturally do with a pencil, and that's... If we compare that to an actual pencil on a piece of paper, there we go. Got some paper over here. So much different. And actually, pencil on paper, you get a certain amount of friction as you're drawing, and that's kind of part of the experience. And when you're drawing on a screen like this, it's plastic on glass. It's very smooth, it's very slick, which for some people that might work, but personally for me, I like that bit of tooth. I like that bit of friction. Let's get rid of these tiny marks here. There we go. So I'm just going to do kind of a little bit of a doodle. You know, you'll have seen this kind of thing before. I just really want to test. Oh wow, there's really no, let's turn down the opacity, there we go. Just want to have a bit of a play and do almost like a side by side. Obviously, there are things that we want to be testing whilst we do this. I'm going very loose and rough with this. I'm really not too worried at all. My razor as well. This is soft. There we go. So this is kind of what I would do to doodle and test things anyway. It's just balls and spheres and things like that. Probably should have done this on a toned background so we'd had some white in there. But that was it's very smooth, it's very slick, it's very Apple Pencil on an iPad. It is what it is. I would probably invest in a larger iPad at some point. I am going to try the green one just because it's my favourite colour. There we go. Let's really get that on. Good. Okay. Right. So I'm really interested to see whether this will affect how the pencil actually moves or how the pencil actually appears on the screen and whether it changes the way it looks. So we're just going to do exactly, still on an eraser. That's because I turned the opacity down. I was worried for a second there. There we go. Yeah, okay. We get light and soft. Turn the opacity down. Still get good blending on the side, so not missing anything there. But actually, I feel, even though this looks like a worse sphere, kind of objectively, I feel like I've got more control with the pen tip. But for me, it just feels more natural and like I can guide the strokes a little bit easier. So in terms of what it creates on the screen, that it's very, I mean, I don't think there's any difference at all. So it doesn't change the pen strokes. But in terms of functionality, it stayed on really well. Hasn't warped or anything. I mean, it's very small usage. And it feels nice. It feels like it's gliding across the screen. There's no latency or lag or anything like that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to really put this to the test. So I'm going to spend some time now using the pen tip and actually do a more refined sketch on the iPad. And then I'll come back to you afterwards and tell you what that experience was like. And I'll probably do a bit of a voiceover whilst I'm doing that. But yeah, let's get to a proper sketch and then we'll chat properly at the end. So for this, I just wanted to get stuck in and draw a bit of wildlife. This is really what I do when I want to unwind, is just drawing animals and creatures, and sometimes it takes more of a horror stint. But while Andrew and I were out for a walk early this morning, there was a bunch of sparrows flying around, and there was one who was particularly interested in a branch and just trying to pick leaves off of it, and it just stuck in my head. So that's what I've decided to just do a little bit of a doodle of. People always say to me, oh my god, that's a doodle, but it really is a doodle. I count anything that takes less than kind of an hour, when you don't really have an aim on what you're doing and you're just doing it for the fun of it. That for me is a doodle. So this is a doodle. This took me about 35 minutes, I think, if that. But I really enjoyed the process of this because there was no sound. So I didn't have that click, 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 tap, tap, tap of the pencil on the glass. It was completely silent, and I just completely zenned out and really, really enjoyed it. For me, this experience was so smooth. But I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. Yes, I really enjoyed it being silent. there are some other things about it as well. We will talk about that right at the very end. But for now, I'm just going to let you enjoy a nice little piece of music from the Westerlies. I think that's what they're called. They're one of the YouTube bands. And just enjoy the music, enjoy the art, and I will catch up with you in just a minute. Well, there we are, and you might be able to see Tinkerbell has also joined us for the end of this. Say hi to everyone, Tinkerbell. There we go. You hate being picked up, don't you? There we go. You go lay on the desk. You be a nuisance. But yes, back to the question at hand. The PenTips. Are they worth it? What do I think of them? Yeah, I think they're absolutely worth it. I really like this. I feel like I have so much more control when I'm using this on the iPad. I think this might be a bit of a Marmite product. I think that some people will absolutely love it, like me. I think others might take a while to get used to it or just completely dislike it. But I mean, they're not that expensive. I would recommend, if you are an Apple Pencil user and they do this for the first and second gen Apple Pencil, definitely go out and give it a check, because yeah, I really enjoyed myself, and I felt like I lost myself in what I was doing, just like I would if I was using a pencil and paper, which is something I've struggled to do with the iPad, to the point that I will sketch on paper and then take a picture and then use that as my sketch in Procreate. This just kind of cuts that step out, and I feel like I can just doodle like I would pencil and paper. It's bringing that traditional to the digital a little bit more, and all it needs is a little bit of friction. Who knew? But yes, I really enjoyed this. Definitely go out and check it if you are interested. Tinkerbell is looking at me because she wants some treats. I'll say it too loud because she'll jump at me because she loves them. So, as always, I really hope you've enjoyed today's video, and until next time, goodbye.